Uh, some straightforward yes or no questions rather than
Oh,
long discussions.
yes or no? Wow.
Because your teaching is now in the last 1 year flip-flopping.
Sorry?
Flip-flopping, I said.
Yeah.
I mean, you have spoken, say, the first 6 months on a different wavelength, and probably on the second 6 months on a different wavelength.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, first time it was like hardcore non-duality.
Yeah.
Then it's sort of changed on to, okay, let me come down and start becoming a sort of a compassionate counselor.
Well, that's how you guys saw it, but I didn't see it like that. It was just speaking, and I wasn't really listening to what I was speaking about.
Not me speaking alone.
Huh?
You speaking to everybody.
Yeah, but you think that I'm speaking to everybody, but I'm not. It's just the mouth opens and then hot air comes out.
Yeah, I understand that very much.
I don't really know what I'm talking about, but it's like ba 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 ba.
So the question now pops up.
Yeah.
With a small introduction. Am I speaking to a body-mind robot called Lisa Cairns, who's a puppet in the hands of the cosmic creator or the God principle?
It seems that way, but no, not ultimately.
Okay, that's a nice way of answering. It seems that way, but that's not the ultimate. Then what is the ultimate?
But you're not speaking to anybody. That's the actual experience. So you're not actually, I'm not actually speaking to an Ilangho. It just seems that way.
Right. But this body-mind complex I am speaking to, and this body-mind complex which is vocalizing and creating these sounds on this side in India, these are all parts of a universal cosmic software which is playing a sort of a Shakespearean puppeting drama.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'm sorry, I've zoned out. Just say that last bit again. Yeah. My computer's begun to hum. So DIY.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Not to speak?
Yeah.
Okay. Now what I was asking was, is this a robot on this side in India, which has been labeled as Ilangho, which has no free will, but which has a body-mind complex, which it thinks is its own, speaking to a similar body-mind complex there, which has its own software, but the only difference is the I-claiming software has been disconnected in Bali. So both of us are puppets in the hands of the God principle.
Yeah.
So everything is scripted.
Yeah.
But you said it seems so, but it is not the case.
Yeah.
Can you please explain that?
No, because what we need to do, Ilangho, is we need to go down to what you feel.
I feel every time you ask me, I feel nothing as I speak to you. But then when you start asking me, digging in depth, the basic two differential things that you say is it's lack and fear.
Yeah.
The lack part of it is sort of, doesn't maybe come onto the surface here and there, but the fear part of it is there. It's not that I am a very fearful person, running away from challenges. No. But it's like the basic stuff inside I feel is fear. I don't know why. Fear of the insecurity of suffering. So sometimes when I hear some non-dual teachers, and you also speak, and Buddha speaks, end of suffering, I'm waiting for that.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the software to cut off like Bali.
Yeah.
Chaino is not in my hand.
So, you know how, like, if I said to you, put your attention now on your hand, then the eye could look at the hand. Now that's not a separate entity working, but it's the way these instruments work. So now if you close your eyes, Ilangho, with me, so if you just close your eyes.
Yeah.
And move your attention through the body. Yeah. Tell me, where do you feel the fear?
Somewhere on the heart.
Are you sure that's not lack?
No. Okay, I don't understand what's lack. I understand that intellectually that I don't have probably enough money or blah blah blah. But that's an unending cycle.
Okay.
Every human being may be having, but that's not the least concern.
Okay.
But probably the fear comes from the insecurity.
Okay. So tell me what that fear feels like. Like, describe it a little.
The fear, with my eyes closed, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Insecurity.
About.
The future.
Yeah. Anything
And
else?
I analyzed, I've been sort of looking at death for a long time, and I'm reading the Upanishads about death and so many stuff. And then I was always thinking, is it the fear of death? But then I reasoned it out saying, after death, I am not there. So probably the insecurity and the fear stems from the suffering which this body mind has to undergo, which it's fed up of. Even knowing, after hearing from teachers, that nothing is in our hands, it's not able to cut that anxiety software of thought, which keeps on going in cycles and cycles and produces the suffering. So the fear is this thought process or this consciousness or this human mind, which is in an automatic mode, creating its own waves of fear here and there, and insecurity. Those come down a lot.
Okay. It's calmed down a lot, which is great. But just rest your attention on that fear for a moment.
Yeah.
And what does it feel like? Not the stories around it. What does it feel like?
It's an indescribable experience.
But yet the you is determined that it's fear. It's labelled it fear.
Yeah, because the I has been taught this language of English.
Okay. But just that I rests the attention on the fear. Just keep your attention there. And you'll find that the thought processes keep wanting to jump into some story around it. And just keep moving the attention down to the sensation.
At the moment there is nothing.
Nothing?
No thought, yeah.
No thought. Okay. So just keep moving the attention there. So that one that's moved its attention there, while I speak Ilangho, just let my words wash over you and just keep your attention on the fear. So that one that's looking at the fear now is appearing in a freedom. It's appearing in a boundless freedom. That one that feels separate, looking at its fear, is not actually an experiencer of life, but it's an experience. But that one that's looking at its fear now, and resting its attention in the fear, has always been trying to escape these kind of sensations. It's always been trying to get away from them, move to something else. But actually that sensation of fear is okay. It's a sensation. When you begin to forget about what you think you know, you even forget what that sensation is and that it's good or bad. It's simply sensation appearing. But that you energy, that separate energy, looks at the fear, makes up a story about the fear, and tries to get away from it. The fear is because I'm going to lose my money. The fear is because I'm going to lose my lover. And then it worries about it. And this is the effect of being separate, is the person believes that it's separate and it can control feelings and control life. And through a constant conditioning from society, family, and itself, it keeps reconditioning that idea that you have free will over this fear, and that if you were a good person, you wouldn't feel fear. And these are all the thoughts that are produced around this. Most people are so scared of what they feel that they're too scared to stop for even a second. They always have to be doing something. But it's just a sensation. It's like being scared of a monster under your bed and never actually looking at the monster. So this is the way the separate self has functioned, is it's believe that it exists, it believes it can look at its sensations, it can judge its sensations, and it can improve its sensations. And it believes that happiness is feeling good, positive sensations, not feeling fear, not feeling sadness, not feeling jealousy. But that's not happiness. Freedom, true happiness, is the collapse of the one that feels like it's in relation to its feelings and that needs a better feeling. It's a collapse of that separation. And then when there's fear, it's not someone that has fear, the whole universe is fear, and that's a totally different experience. There's nothing that's vulnerable to that fear anymore. There's nothing that's vulnerable to the sadness, to the loneliness. There is just those experiences happening for no one. In a way, you could say they're not happening. They're also not happening. So just keep resting your attention on that fear, because that separate entity has spent its whole life running from fear, running from what it feels. Even with non-duality, it does that. It listens to non-duality, and every time it experiences sadness or anger or fear, it uses the story of non-duality to try and get rid of it. There is nobody, I'm not in control. That separate self is always using everything to try and manipulate the experience. But that separate energy isn't even you. That's not a separate person doing something. That separate person is appearing in a boundless freedom. So just keep resting your attention there. And see that even the idea of location is a crazy idea. That you feel fear inside a body. That's even craziness. There is fear in aliveness, in beingness, in consciousness. You don't even know you have a body at this point. The eyes are shut, you can't even see it. There is simply sensation happening. And you might find that when you rest your attention there, the fear becomes more intense, but that's okay. There's nothing to be afraid of. This is all God. Everything, every last bit of it. Even that, and hearing that and thinking, okay, it's all God, I've got to know that. It's not you as a separate entity that's got to know that. That one that's looking at the fear is a dream appearing inside of aliveness, inside of beingness. There's something that knows that. That's an experience, and the freedom doesn't come from that person getting something. The freedom is the collapse, the energetic expansion back into everything. Not that person understanding or getting something. That person is an experience just like the fear is an experience. So who is it that's experiencing all of this? This is love. Not the person that's looking at the fear, but that which knows the person that's looking at the fear. And that person that's looking at the fear doesn't have free will, but it appears as if it does. So just now if I say, put your finger in your ear, that could be a possibility. Or I say, cover your eyes, that could be a possibility. More than likely, because they're interactive robots. This fear has haunted that illusion of that person. Is so desperate, just pleasant feelings, just want pleasant feelings. But it's simply fear. It's an intense sensation that appears. Khaleesi does not reject fear any more than any positive sensation, like joy or excitement. There's nothing more or less sacred to her. So as that separate person, you can just keep resting your attention on that fear, and it will eventually begin to shift and transform. What keeps it activated normally is the attempt to try and get rid of it. Life is as it is. The appearance is as the appearance is. Okay, you can open your eyes again now, Ilangho.
Okay.
Have you got anything to say, or have I stunned you into silence?
No. This is an interesting question. We have to talk. Alright, missing the.
Sorry?
No, this is a golden opportunity for
Oh,
the
yeah?
globe. Golden opportunity for the globe, and I have been selected as a robot to ask questions.
Yes.
So this time around, you have been doing this to me a couple of sessions, and I think this time around I sort of got the knack of that, what you're trying to tell me. So along with that, so next time when this fear of losing a person or a job or a physical infirmity arises, what happens is usually the mind starts running a file, questioning the pros and cons. So at that point of time, I should just rest in the fear or in the anxiety.
If you just have a bit of time just to do like what I did with you, if you just have a bit of time to because the automatic is, if you just have like 5 or 10 minutes between a client, the automatic response normally is to do something. And normally that doing or that thinking is about trying to get away from it, which is okay.
But that thought is not under my control. So what's the point in talking about it? Correct?
No, you
Right.
don't exist, but it appears as if you do have control. So when you're next in your surgery and you're
But there is
having
no control.
fear arise,
But there is control.
huh?
But there is no control.
No, but it appears as if you do. So when
But
you're
there is no.
next, huh?
But there is no control.
No, but it appears as if you do.
No, no. It's either left or right. There can't be two truths. It's either it's the truth or it appears to be the truth. So when it appears to be the truth, can there be an effort of a non-entity or just the realization it's happening?
Well, can you choose to see a client or not?
If we accept what we are discussing now, that we are interactive robots, the choosing is not there. It apparently appears to be a cause-effect world, but it apparently appears to be not there. If I have a client, there is a client. If there is no client, there is no client. I have no control in choosing or doing anything, as I presently have no control in what I am voicing out.
Yeah, but if you were sitting in your office and your receptionist said to you, "This client's here to see you," and then just as you were about to see them, you knocked a big cup of coffee all over yourself, and so you phoned your receptionist back and said, "Oh, just give me 5 minutes."
Yeah.
There appears like there can be choice.
But there is no choice.
No.
Let's be very clear on this.
There is no choice, but there appears as if there can be. But there is no choice. But it appears as if you can phone the client, you can phone your receptionist, and you can say, "Stop the client coming for 5 minutes." So the same way, if you're in your studio and you're experiencing your surgery and you're experiencing a lot of fear, and there is time, 5 minutes or so, then you can just sit down and let the attention sit with the fear rather than the way you normally act it out. But that's not you. That's not independence. That's a functioning, just like if I taught you to make a cup of tea.
But we are very clear that there is no choice.
No, but if I told you that tea tastes better with ginger in it, you might put ginger in the tea next time. There's a good chance you will.
No, let's be very clear on that again. I will not be putting ginger. This robot body, if the script is written that when Lisa Cairns says put ginger in the tea, it will put it.
Yeah.
And that is not Lisa Cairns'
No,
order. It's the cost order coming, Lisa.
I can assure you that more than likely it will happen. I mean, maybe not with the tea thing, but with certain things. So when you're in the office, if you have a few minutes when you're feeling fear to do that, this is a really good thing in the personal world for the person to do, rather than just acting out. I'm not saying it's going to get you to enlightenment, but it's going to untangle a lot of the neurotic patterns that the person has. Because as soon as separation happens, the person gets into so many neurotic patterns of trying to escape its feelings. And this is what creates so much of the suffering in humanity. The ultimate suffering is separation. Without separation, there would be none of this side effect of all these ways in which people run away and these deluded games that get set up. But while you're separate and you feel like you're separate, this is something you can do to relax those games and relax those trigger points. It's not going to get you out of the dream, because there is no you to get out of the dream, and all of that part happens by itself.
No, if this dream of this person, that's a nice cliche. This dream of a person, can there be a script from outside altering the dream? The answer is no, obviously. It's like Lisa Cairns is out of the dream, and in the dream of Ilangho, she is offering a solution to Ilangho in the dream, do this. But that's not possible, right? In the dream?
Well, if your mother taught you how to cook pasta, she would say to you, the way you cook pasta is you put in boiling water and then you put it on the stove for 10 minutes and then you put the pasta in, and then what I'm doing is I'm recommending ways at this moment in which you can relax your sense of self, and I'm exploring with you what that sense of self is.
But what I'm trying to ask you repeatedly is, are you not contradicting yourself in this today's session itself when you started with saying there is no you? And then you're giving me a solution to the non-entity. A non-entity there is giving a solution to a non-entity on a so-called obvious choice possibility when the choice does not exist. Is that not a contradiction?
Well, isn't the whole of life a contradiction? Doesn't it all
Only,
not work in the thought world?
only for the separate person. The only question I'm asking you is how to get the Bali banana fritters.
How to
Was there
what?
any Bali banana fritters? Banana fritters. I'm just joking. The Bali experience, was there anything prior to that experience which you, in the dream world of Lisa Cairns prior to 2010, had tried out, which snipped that personality and killed that personality?
No, the snipping part is an irrelevant question, but I did used to do what I'm expressing to you.
Let us go into the fear.
Yeah, but the snipping part is irrelevant because the snipping happens, there's a total mystery as to how that eye gets unlocked. But in the sense, in the personal world, what you can do is you can relax a lot of those neurotic patterns, because what's happening to us as a society is we're going crazy, absolutely crazy, because we're identified with a false dream and our society is pushing us so much. Do you know what happened in Switzerland yesterday?
No?
In Switzerland, a man, again, this has happened a lot of times in Europe this summer. This didn't seem to be any terror motive or anything, and it does seem to be men that are doing it way more than women. Women seem to maybe be more self-hurting, this man, he had a knife and petrol, and then when he was in the train carriage with people, he stabbed them and set them on fire, and then he did it to himself.
So
This is what's happening in our society at the moment. We are going absolutely insane because our life is based on an illusion.
So what are you saying?
Oh, I don't know.
You're telling me a story, and then you're telling me there's a moral to the story, saying that the society is bad.
I'm not saying society's bad. I'm saying that.
And in the society are bad.
I'm saying that that sense of self. From that sense of self, it begins to go crazy because our society at the moment is moving at such a rapid pace and putting so much emphasis on being an individual.
But this sense of self is not having a free will.
No, it doesn't have a free will and it doesn't exist.
Yeah, so
but I can tell you, going back to your feelings is way more beneficial and relaxing than keep acting out the neurosis. It won't get you to enlightenment because there's no you to get to enlightenment, and it doesn't work like that. That part is way beyond our ability to think about. But it's going to relax those neurotic patterns.
So can you tell us about, you're drinking something Joker?
Yeah, I'm drinking grapefruit juice. I love grapefruit juice.
I just saw a movie today called Joker in my language.
Oh yeah?
Which was about a guy who turns mentally insane and starts acting against the government as to what he just now told me.
Oh yeah, called Joker.
Yeah. It may come to the Cannes Festival.
Oh, yeah?
Tamil movie.
It's an Indian film, a Tamil movie.
Tamil movie with Indian subtitles called Joker.
Oh nice. And you speak Tamil?
Myself?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mother tongue is Tamil, like Ramana Maharishi.
Yeah. Oh, we've spoken about that before, I remember now.
Yeah.
But you also speak Hindi, English?
Only English, I don't know Hindi.
Oh, you don't know Hindi?
Hindi language, yeah. India is made up of about so many states where Hindi is supposed to be the common thread, but I know very little, a smattering of Hindi. It's only English that I know, because I educated in English, in Tamil.
I see.
I wanted to ask you also, now you have been part of the dream world of the society and the goods and the bads, and now you have amputated yourself away from that self, and that I has become the everything. What's this mystery about? We with our mind cannot fathom this mystery. That's understood. But sages, rishis, enlightened beings have given us a glimpse of the beyond. But they are history. But this is reality, means speaking to one.
Well, what is it that you know here, Ilangho? Name one thing that you know. 100%.
No.
It's a total and utter mystery, all of this. Total and utterly. Even if we say, oh, this is a computer and this is Lisa, and that makes us feel safe, it's not a reality.
Now, what I'm asking you is, even looking at a laptop, a an Apple laptop or an iPhone or some good phones or all the the extreme space shuttles going up and so many things. We say, oh my God, such a brilliant thing by the human being. But if you look at for a moment this entire universe and everything happening, I mean, how was this created? By what and what's happening here? Why is it happening? And how is it happening with such intricate precision and intelligence? And I mean, there's no words to. You can at least tell us a glimpse of the silence from which this is emanating. This power, this universal power, love. How is it happening? This infinity.
It's a dream. It's God's dream.
God's dream. Then who's or what is God?
The dreamer. The whole entire dream.
Was there a purpose for the dream?
Yes.
What's it?
The simple game of finding itself again. Himself again. Herself again. Itself again.
So it's sort of blindfold itself and wants to unlock the blindfold. Something like that. Don't you think this is a pertinent question by a human being to ask? Why is this happening? Because I am into this world without my knowing why I am here. I am going to go without knowing why I am gone.
But the thing is that that's okay, that question, but it's a pointless question. It will lead you nowhere. Why is this happening?
It's such a brilliance. See, we look at a Mozart, we look at a Shakespeare, we look at all those big people like Ramana Maharishi or all those great people, Alexander the Great, and we are in awe. But this thing is the ultimate. And how come that we cannot connect to that?
It's in every instant. It's right here.
But then why is it not decipherable by the human? Why is it that the human goes to
Because the
temples?
human's appearing in it. The human's a dream in it.
You're able to see me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're frozen.
I'm frozen.
Mm.
Hey, it's
No
frozen.
problem.
For a while you thought that was just my look.
Mm. It's again something's happening.
Yeah, but when it gets
You know,
frozen,
You refreshed, is it?
yeah.
Okay, there's a black screen now, but I can hear you. So can you tell us something about the dreamer? The it, his or the her. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. I'm getting a black screen. Yeah, tell me. Can you tell us something about this dreamer, the beyond principle? The person who has created us, who's giving us life.
It's in
moment,
every
giving-
instant. It's right here. It's the most intimate sense of being.
When I was a kid, I was challenging my parents. I wanted to meet my creator, meet the God. You're saying it's here, but how come I am not able to communicate with it?
Because you don't exist, you're appearing in it. And you're trying to think of it like a separate form that you could communicate with. Everything is touching it. Like the creator is touching it. You, the appearance of you, is created out of the creator. You are God's arms, God's legs, God's nose, God's eyes, God's world, all of it. It's right here, Ilangho. Just stay with it. Go to that feeling. Just go to that feeling that wants to know.
Whenever I do that, there is only silence.
Okay, okay, that's okay. Just put the attention there. Okay, Ilangho, well, I think that's enough now. There's a few other people that want to speak, and
Sure.
I will just
Sure.
speak with them. But it was nice speaking with you, Ilangho.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ilangho. Bye.